गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम टू गाना शॉट। गाना शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। टुडे वी गोना टॉक ऑफ चाइना's डैम once again. Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, uh, Pema Kandu, he said it's a water bomb for India. So what is this water bomb all about? And we need to understand it. And more than that, let's understand what the Chief Minister himself has said, and then we'll take it up from there. Look, this is the interview he gave to PTI. I'm going to replay that part, just part of that PTI. Uh, what I'm, what I don't know whether the sound will come through or not, because some of these clips the sound comes and some other clips the sound doesn't come. So, but hear that, and from there we'll take up the issues and we'll discuss the whole thing. Okay, here it go.
एक और रिपोर्ट निकला है कि चाइना एक डैम बना रहा है बिल्कुल अरुणाचल के बॉर्डर के उधर, तो उससे सियांग रिवर में हमारे को क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा?
ये थोड़ा सा कंसर्न एक बात है आपने जो बताया। तो लास्ट टाइम 2021 में जो चाइनीज गवर्नमेंट का प्रीमियर वहाँ में अरुणाचल का बॉर्डर में आके गया, वो आके उस प्रोजेक्ट को भी देख के गया, फिर वापस जाके बीजिंग में उन लोगों का 5 ईयर प्लान में उस प्रोजेक्ट को शामिल कर दिया। तो वहाँ में अरुणाचल का बॉर्डर में वो लोग को प्लान कर रहा है कि एक बहुत बड़ा, दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट बनाने का, करीबन 60,000 मेगावाट।
So the first point he's made is in 2021, the Premier of China, PRC, came there and did an inspection way back in 2021. And now this dam is included as part of their 5-year plan. And in the next 5-year plan that they'll start. That's the first point and the important point he's made.
पावर, तो उसको लेके सभी लोग चिंतित हैं। तो अगर चाइना इंटरनेशनल वाटर ट्रीटी का अगर सिग्नेटरी होता तो हम लोगों के लिए प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, क्योंकि उसमें जो डाउन
So the next point he's making is, if China had been a signatory of any international water treaty, or if we had a bilateral treaty with China, then there's no problem. We could have spoken. We could have asked for lower riparian rates. I mean, rights.
जो
Not,
बेसिन में जितना
yeah,
पानी
that's what he
छोड़ना है,
says.
अपना जो एक्वा लाइफ, मेरीन लाइफ के लिए जितना पानी चाहिए, मैंडेटरी जो छोड़ना है वो उसको छोड़ना ही पड़ता है। इनफैक्ट अगर वो लोग इंटरनेशनल वाटर ट्रीटी शेयरिंग का अगर सिग्नेटरी होता तो हम लोगों के लिए ये प्रोजेक्ट जो है ब्लेसिंग इन डिस्गाइज होना था, क्योंकि हम समर्स में देखिए हमारे वहाँ में भी काफी फ्लडिंग होता है। वो फ्लडिंग असम में होता है, इट गोज टिल बांग्लादेश। तो एक प्रोजेक्ट अगर बड़ा डैम या जो भी स्ट्रक्चर वहाँ तिब्बत में आ जाता तो हमारा फ्लडिंग जो है वो मॉडरेट हो जाता।
So the next thing he says is, if there was international cooperation, this dam would have been a blessing in disguise to Arunachal, because it controls flooding in Siang, right? And even not only for Siang, it would have been a blessing in disguise for Bangladesh. But that's not the case. That's the point he's putting out, which is very important, right? Per se, what he's the major issue which he's putting across is the dam, if it is open to everyone, if it is open to scrutiny, it is open to some regulation between India and China, it will be beneficial to India. But if not, it's a water bomb. That's what he says. Let's hear.
Provided if China could have been the signatory
and abides by
the international
rules.
water sharing law, लेकिन चाइना तो सिग्नेटरी नहीं है, तो अभी प्रॉब्लम उसमें है। अभी प्रॉब्लम इसलिए है क्योंकि चाइना को भरोसा नहीं है को क्या कर देगा। तो मान लीजिए अभी वहाँ पे डैम बन जाने के बाद में वो लोग अगर पानी को छोड़ देता है तो हमारा पूरा जो सियांग बेल्ट पूरा खत्म हो जाएगा। और वहाँ में खास करके जो ट्राइब है, वहाँ पे आदि ट्राइब लोग मैक्सिमम उस बेल्ट में ही बसे हुए हैं। तो वहाँ का पूरा प्रॉपर्टी, उसका जमीन, खास करके ह्यूमन लाइफ बहुत काफी डिवास्टेटिंग इफेक्ट होगा।
So what he says is, look, you can't trust China. And the issue is that it's not a matter of water alone, that if there is flooding in that area or whatever unnatural things which happen, or the Siang goes dry or water there reduces, the people of that area get hit. The Adi tribe out there. Very important thing. Now he's got it down to people's level. It is not anymore, geopolitical. Ye wo. Now, as a chief minister, he is worried about the people, right? That's the next important point which he's making. Okay, we'll go ahead because then we'll see the whole thing overview. Yeah.
If further Assam, Brahmaputra, बहुत डिवास्टेटिंग इफेक्ट होगा. इट विल गो टिल बांग्लादेश. तो इसको लेके अभी भारत सरकार के साथ में भी डिस्कस करके इसको एक डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म के तौर पे देख के वहाँ पे एक प्रोजेक्ट हम लोग ने कंसीव किया है कि सियांग अपर मल्टीपर्पज प्रोजेक्ट, एक मल्टीपर्पज प्रोजेक्ट बनेंगे जिसमें से एक डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म और वाटर सिक्योरिटी के लिए भी. तो चाइना तो अभी काम तो वहाँ पे आई थिंक वो लोग स्टार्ट भी अभी करने वाला होगा या
एक और रिपोर्ट.
So he is talking of a defense mechanism in which there will be a dam built in Upper Siang, and all that, right? So that there's water security in that area, right? Let's go ahead.
अभी वहाँ पे डैम बन जाने के बाद में वो लोग अगर पानी को छोड़ देता है तो हमारा पूरा जो सियांग बेल्ट पूरा खत्म हो जाएगा. और वहाँ में खास करके जो ट्राइब है वहाँ खास करके ह्यूमन लाइफ एक हम लोग ने कंसीव किया है कि सियांग अपर मल्टीपर्पज प्रोजेक्ट, एक मल्टीपर्पज प्रोजेक्ट बनेंगे जिसमें से एक डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म और वाटर सिक्योरिटी के लिए भी. तो चाइना तो अभी काम तो वहाँ पे आई थिंक वो लोग स्टार्ट भी अभी करने वाला होगा या कर दिया होगा क्योंकि वो लोग तो कुछ शेयरिंग नहीं करते हैं वो लोग. तो लॉन्ग रन में क्या होगा कि डैम अगर बन जाता है तो हमारा सियांग नदी और ब्रह्मपुत्र का पानी काफी सूख जाएगा. तो वाटर सिक्योरिटी के लिए हम लोग अगर ये अरुणाचल में जो हम लोग प्रोजेक्ट का जो कंसीव कर रहा है वो बन जाने से क्या होगा कि हमारे लिए जो पानी का रिक्वायरमेंट है वो अपने डैम से हम लोग उसको मेंटेन कर पाएंगे. और फ्यूचर में अगर वहां से कुछ पानी वो लोग छोड़ देते हैं तो उसके लिए भी हम लोग फ्लडिंग तो होगा, डेफिनेटली होगा, मगर इट कैन बी कंट्रोल्ड.
Right. So, setting aside the military threat from China, it seems to me that this is a far bigger threat than anything else.
बिल्कुल जी.
It is going to cause an existential threat to our tribes, our livelihoods.
राइट, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. ये काफी एक क्योंकि चाइना इसको लेके एक वाटर बॉम्ब की तरह भी वो लोग यूज कर सकते हैं. तो इसको चलते अभी वहाँ के जो हमारा आदि जो ट्राइब.
So what he says is China can use this as a water bomb. It's no more a geopolitical issue whether China will invade India and all. It's a bigger problem of people being affected. He's also said that look, if the dam comes during dry season, this dam will give water when water doesn't come from the top. Or during flood season, you can control the floods. And floods will be there. Floods are there even today. It's not as if there are no floods in Brahmaputra or Siang, Upper Siang. There is floods. Floods will happen, but it can be controlled. So there's a defense mechanism he's talking of. So there's something on. But my way of looking at it is there is more to it. There are more problems which probably due to paucity of time, this chief minister has not put it up out that much. It's not a matter of water. There is a lot more to it, which that's why I thought. Let me also explain to you why I did this. After all, I did this program about a month back about Brahmaputra dams and all that. Now, the issue is there are people who came to me and said, "Look, sir, you said something. The chief minister has said something. Can you add both and put across a view and clarify issues?" I said, "Yeah, that is why I'm doing this today. That's the whole story." So let me take you forward and let me explain the whole thing, because for someone who's not heard this earlier, I rather than saying go back to a previous video, I thought let me spend some time with this thing. Look, a major part of Brahmaputra flows trans Himalayas. It starts from Kailash, Yarlung Zangpo. It's called Yarlung Zangpo in Tibet. Already there are about 14-15 dams on Tibet, and the locations are there. Some are made, some are not yet made, things like that. Some are under construction. We don't know where they are, what it is. For example, here they've shown, in this map, they've shown it as Medoc Dam. It's actually probably not there. We don't know the exact location. We actually don't know. Okay. Now, if you look at it, this is the map which explains some, certain things. For a best part of about 2,000 kilometers, this river flows in China. Then it takes a bend around Namcha Barwa. Namcha Barwa is the highest feature in eastern Himalayas. It's one of those 8,000 plus peaks. And then it flows down into, the plains of Assam. Okay. And this is the only place that the Himalayas really gets cut. And water flows from other side to here. There is no other place across it happens, except of course when you get to Indus, which is near Demchok, and to a certain extent Satluj, which originates in Tibet. Okay, this is what it looks when it, this is at the start point of Yarlung Sampo with, you can see Mount Kailash in the background. This is at it keeps going. Then this is Namcha Barwa around which it flows, right? This is not Namcha Barwa. This is not Namcha Barwa. Incidentally, this is Namcha Barwa. Namcha Barwa is a 8,000 plus peak. This is just a hairpin bend at some point which they show, but that's the big bend. Then it goes down and it flows down into Arunachal Pradesh. This is how it looks. I mean, just think. Even in Arunachal Pradesh, it goes through mountains. Okay, and then it gets to the plains of Assam, and finally it flows past. This is Dispur or Guwahati, right? And then it flows into Bangladesh. That's a scenic way of looking at things. But there is another issue. You have a look at this map, and if you see, this is the Himalayan crest line. It's in the graphic. This is Trans-Himalayan area, and this is our area. And if you see, this is also the watershed. What is the watershed? It's like a shed. Only thing is when water falls on the shed, when water falls on any shed, water goes either one side or the other side. That's why it's called watershed. Okay, and the Himalayas are the watershed in this area. Whatever water falls on Himalayas, one, if it's on the other side, it goes into Tibet. What others, if it's on this side, it comes into India. And if you see the profusion of rivers, this is the watershed. I'll show it a little. Yeah, this is the watershed. So anything above, water goes that side. This side, water comes, and you see a lot of tributaries to Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra is not dependent on only the main Siang or the main water which comes from there. In fact, in Siang, only 15% of the water which comes into Brahmaputra flows. That we should be clear. Some people say 20, fine, but not more than that. Okay. And this is the eastern Himalayas. This crest line is the eastern Himalayas, and it cuts through at only one place. Interestingly, even past where the Yarlung Zangpo cuts into Arunachal and it's called Siang, even past that on the east, there's no rivers which come from the other side. It's only rivers on this side. Okay. Okay. Now this, I'll show you some maps which I showed last time also. See, this is the crest line. If you see, the red line is the crest line, and this is the crest line, and it is through this the river flows. See how it comes? It comes from here. It comes, flows around. This is Namcha Barwa here, and comes. And this is the crest line. The red line is the crest line. So you get an idea. And from here, it falls into the plains of. There's a steep fall right from here. Now this area is at about 14,000 feet. To get an idea, just see. Look at this. This is the thing. See it coming. Now it comes like this, and then it comes like this, and from here, this is about 14,000 feet where on the arrow. By the time it goes down here, it goes to 2,000 odd feet. This, of course, is the plains of Assam. This is a thing. This is as seen from the Chinese side, not from the Indian side. We'll show that Indian side also. And what's more interesting is the tributaries to Brahmaputra are many. Even rivers from Bhutan flow into Brahmaputra ultimately. But the major ones which are in Assam, Arunachal, right? It's called the 3S, 3D, 1L, okay? Or S cube, D cube, L. What is that? It is Subansuri, Siom, Siang, 3S, okay? Dibang, Delai, and Dao. And these carry a lot of water. And then the Lohit, which carries hell of a lot of water. And then about 20% of water comes from Lohit. And Lohit comes from China, incidentally, past Wolong. And you can't stop that water. In fact, ahead of Wolong, the water which flows into Lohit is less. Lohit is a valley. For people who don't know, Lohit is a valley. It's a huge valley of 200 plus kilometers. And either side is hills. So there's a lot of copious rain out there. When that rain falls, all that water gets into Lohit and it comes down. And in that you have Dao also joining. Dao also actually is a tributary to Lohit. It's only even Delhi is a tributary to Lohit, incidentally. It's only Dibang which comes separately. And all this at a place called Parshuram Kund, it joins. Dao, Delhi, Dibang, and Lohit. It comes down. At a place called Pasigat, Siang joins. And then the others join in. Okay? Yeah. Now, these are the dams on the river. I'll not go into it because we are more interested in our dam. So, this is it when you again see from the top. Top, where you see the till here, as what you see, the elevation is approximately 13,000-14,000. You're in high altitude. All this is in high altitude. And it is from here to here. This is the border. From here to here, the fall is very steep. Okay, very steep. And then, of course, it hits the plains of Assam. So this is the way you look at it. You see how it's coming. See this. It gives you an idea. All this area is in high altitude. All this area is in high altitude. The river starts falling here, and this is where a border is, and from here the fall is steep till it comes here. Thereafter the fall is gentle. Okay. Now what the Chinese want to do is they want to tap this fall of, right, because that gives them naturally uh, enough leeway for tapping power. Basically they're doing it for tapping power, because I don't see what will they do with water taken off from here, because you can't take it back. You can't pump water up, 4,000-5,000 feet. It's impossible. The amount of electricity you need, I mean, just forget it. Okay, what is this thing schematically? This is from Business Line. In fact, sometime back last year, there's an editor from Hindu in Business Line. He spoke to me. We had a long talk. Ramesh, if I remember his name. And after that, he put this out. What is this? This is Namcha Barua and the set of mountains. That is this. This goes like this, isn't it? So it's like this. So what they're going to do is from other side of Namcha Barua, they're going to drill holes, tunnels, and get it to this side. And they're going to build a dam here at the top. And I'll explain this story a little just to give you a broad idea. See, look at this. Now, if you see, yeah, this is the river which has come like this. Okay, I'll go take it back. See it now animated. The river flows like this. Okay, this red dots are there is their highway, Eastern Express Highway. Now, besides this, there's another river, the tributary, which joins in here at this point. My guess, this is my guess. It could be, I could be wrong. The dam would be somewhere here. It could be here, it could be here, but somewhere here, because you need water, and the dams, the the river starts falling from somewhere here. You can't build a dam here because the dam, after all, what you'll put 400, 500 meters. That's it. After that, what you need water upstream. You can't build a dam on in a place where there's slope. The pondage will be very less. You need a lot of pondage, and for a lot of pondage, you have to be in a flat area because pondage will get behind. Water is required behind, and why that water is required to run your turbines, and you have to feed your turbines. So these ingenious Chinese, what they're doing, I'll explain to you. So if suppose they put the dam here, and look, yeah. So if they put the dam here, as I've shown you here, right, and there'll be pondage along the main Sangpo, and there'll be some pondage along this tributary also. And this is approximate. This is not correct, but my estimate is there'll be pondages like this. Now, this pondage is important. Why? This from this pondage, which is here, they will drill or tunnels through the Namcha Barwa massif and get water on this side. And I'll explain it to you more graphically. See, this is the border, okay, and this is the dam, and they're going to put their penstock pipe somewhere here. I'll show you. See, if you see it from our side, it is like this. The dam will come somewhere here, okay, and the river is here, and from here where there's going to be pondage, they're going to put pipes, or rather tunnels, and at this end they're going to put their penstock pipe, something like this. See, if this is Namcha Barwa, this is far away. Put a dam here, water will flow. From the other side, they'll put tunnels, and I mean they're looking at 3 or 4 tunnels. One doesn't know. The tunnels will come out, water will flow, and a lot of water will flow out here. So a lot of this pondage is required to keep the dam running, and that is what one should understand. You know, if you don't have this pondage, one has to understand this very significantly. In winter, the flow in Sangpo is reduced, and a lot of water freezes in that high altitudes. So you have to feed the power station with water. So you need a lot of pondage. Even if the top layer freezes, the bottom you can get water. That's the logic, isn't it? So you need that water. So there's no way this flooding can happen in winter seasons. Okay. Summer seasons, when there is rain, you can't stop flooding. It will go. I mean, the water is so much there, it will anyway get going. It's the in between seasons which are an issue, right? Okay. So what? So there has to be you. It's not possible that China stores too much water here. Why? Water is going off. Like I said, water which is ponding behind is actually being let off through these penstocks, and water goes through Siang. So per se, when people say Siang will go dry, I fully don't agree, because there's no dam beyond this, because thereafter the fall is huge. They're using this side of the fall, you know. On if you just think on one side of the Namchara Bar massif, the river is flowing at 14,000. The other side, you got that down to 5-6,000. So the tunnels which Chinese have to bore have to come down, lose height from 10,000 or 12,000. It depends on where they're going to tap at the thing, and come down to about 6, 5, 4, whichever thousand it is. And then the water has to go out. And after that, there's no dam. So it's just not possible that water in Siang will cease. That's the first thing. This is largely, I feel, a run of the water dam or run of the water system. They can't also hold too much water, because with the amount of water which will collect out there, the dam will go. So they must be having systems to let water go to a large extent. But this pondage, which is whatever is there, is dicey, because that will be the water bomb. Ultimately, that can be used. But the question is, moot question is that will China build a 60,000 megawatt dam and use the water, 60,000 megawatt power project, and use the water for that power project to flood India and dry their own electricity? That's a question. So it is not easy for China to do, water control and water bomb and all. There's a lot of talk about this, but at some point of time we should start talking. I'll get to that. That's important. Okay. Now there's a dam. What's the counter to that? What the chief minister has himself said, that there's a Upper Siang uh, dam which we are looking. The location I don't know. There is issues. uh, any dam in that heavily forested areas has issues. We'll talk of it. I'll just come to it. You see, this is the way I look at it. This is the flow of Sangpo. So you can put a dam somewhere there. So now, if there are two, three options. The first is it goes like this. Let me make it bigger so that you see. Okay, right. So the normal thing is you have a thing here, and this will be the pondage. Okay, so you have to mirror a dam. Then what's the mirror? This dam can't be behind this. This is the line of actual control. Okay, right. So you have a dam here and store water here, but here also the whole area will get filled with water. So the idea is, when this is dry, you release water from here. This water will never freeze. This water might freeze. So in some winter seasons, the flow in the river will reduce drastically. For that, you have water here and you give water downstream. And the flip, in some in seasons when there's likely to be a flood, open this dam completely, let the water go. Don't store water. If this fellow floods, store water here. Then you close the dam and flood, give control the water. So that is the thing. This is the issue. The issue is, this mirror dam will act as a butterfly wall somewhere. I mean, the logic, that's the fundamental logic. Okay. Now the choices are this. Do you have one dam here, or the same thing? Let me explain. Right. So you can have two or three small dams. And why you want to have three small dams? You have better control. But the thing with three or four small dams is you need more area. Area is not a problem, but in either case, you need a lot of area. But when you have three, four dams, you have better control. You can control ecology, because you see, the ultimate thing is, how do you affect local habitat and how do you affect local ecology? That's what the chief minister also said. And in my way of looking at it, this is the weapon we have got. People is the weapon we have got. Remember, to a large extent, there are tribes that side and the same tribe lives this side also. Okay. And today, I mean, for people who don't understand this is very important. In Arunachal, every tribe has its own language. No tribe understands the other language. You know, very interesting. And every tribe is in each valley. The link language is Hindi. Then the whole story is, the link language is Hindi. Hindi is the official language of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. Now that Hindi has become the official language of Arunachal Pradesh, look at the connectivity. I'll go back to this map and understand this from here. Right. Now, look, Adi tribe is living here. There'll be Adi people living here also. I'm sure many of these Adi people here understand Hindi. These Adi chaps are different from Tibetan and they're different from Han. So they won't understand Han. They understand Hindi. And Hindi is your weapon. understand this. Hindi is your weapon. People are your weapon. People can undermine everything cross border. Number of people will be less. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Some people will be there in a place like that where the number of anyway the total number of people are less. Even Chinese will only keep that many. Okay, it's not going to be easy for China if we mobilize the people, and that is important. Whoever people are there will have friends across and everything, and they will also get affected. So it has to be a people's movement, which is not only in this side of the border, it is on the other side of the border. So that's the first thing. Second thing, uh, I would request all of you listen to what Pema Kandu talks in the full interview. This is only an excerpt which I got. He has never referred to that area as China. He says China is building a dam in Tibet. It's a message he is giving. The people of Arunachal Pradesh are giving a message to China that Tibet is not part of China. He's already given that messaging, which is very important. And I'll get back to this because there's certain opinions and analysis I've come across in Guancha, very interesting, about the McMahon line and how they should force India and to take South Tibet and all that. We'll discuss it. I'll discuss it next week sometime. So this is the issue. You have to make a people's movement. But why do you want to make a people's movement when you really don't have water problem? But like what the Prime Minister said, I mean Chief Minister, it's a local habit and local ecology. If it is only local habitat, and with a matter of managing ecology, it'll all settle a matter of 4, 5, 6 years. But in my own view, the thing is beyond that. My view is this is an earthquake prone area, and you're building this in eastern Himalayas, which is absolutely fragile. People say, oh, while China will come with so many people, why can't we defend our borders there and all? When I was in those areas, I had some area of responsibility where we couldn't go for patrolling. We couldn't take a vehicle, it's only walk. Why? You take a small vehicle, also the road could cave in. In rainy season, the road could get cut off for months. You can't do anything. I mean, you have to be there to believe it. I mean, problem is equal that side also. And that's why that area is low priority relatively. But they do more. I mean, that doesn't stop people from doing what they want. So the issue is earthquakes are very, very, very high probability in this area, and there is history of it. Yeah, you see all this red areas, they're all earthquake prone areas, and this dam is coming absolutely there. So what happens if there's an earthquake? Okay, let there be an earthquake, some dam will break. Yeah, I do hope there's an earthquake before the dam is built. Then the dam will never be built. Okay, that will be the end of the dam. But what happens if the earthquake happens, say, 5, 10 years after the dam is built? That is the problem. There are two effects of this whole story. First, mudslides. What happens is when you build these water bodies, here, okay, you have to understand that in the Himalayas, this is the only place where you can go across. Okay, you can go across the Himalayas. This is the Himalayan crest line. The winds from here come in the northeast monsoon. Sorry, the southwest monsoon. The southwest monsoon is only winds, isn't it? It goes from south to north. It comes, from what winds come from here to here. and then hit the Tibetan Massif and go back. That's a return monsoon. Now, in its way up, it will collect water from these lakes, these water bodies. So these local water bodies will form convection. And when these local bodies form convection, winds form convection, especially during summer seasons, there'll be excessive local rain. Excessive local rain will cause mudslides. It's happened already. There's this place called Choglamsar, which is next to Leh. I mean, those of you who don't know, next time you go to Leh and you're going through to Karu and all those funny places, okay, this is Choglamsar. See, State Bank of India and all that. What happened in Choglamsar? And what happened there? We think we went there, did a lot of greening, we put apricot trees, you did this, you did that, all that nonsense we did there. Very good. So what if? So it induced local rainfall. That in a desert, when you go and do greening of the desert, you're inducing local rainfall. When that local rainfall happens, it doesn't happen like normal widespread monsoon. It comes down in one go. And in one go, it comes into an area which has not had rainfall. The soil is porous. It doesn't have the capability to hold water. It results in mudslides. And it hit Choglamsar sometime back. And people died also. And when we went into it, we realized people said, look, if you do greening and farming and this thing, economically it might be good, environmentally it's bad because you change the environment in that area. So what are you going to do now? You're going to change the environment in this area which is earthquake prone. So are you going to have a lot of mudslides? You're going to have everything, and then the dam which you built might not work. That's the first problem. And this is going to affect local people. The second thing is very interesting. This is something which the Chinese have to understand. In 2008, May 12th, this is the date, there was a devastating 8 magnitude, 7.98 magnitude earthquake in Sichuan. This is Sichuan, if you see. This is Sichuan. Okay? How many people died? Look at this, 87,000. The figures vary. The Chinese call it 50,000. Others say 90,000. So they are dead or missing. What's interesting? Why did it happen? There was a reservoir being made by China 20 kilometers away from the epicenter. Okay? When that happened, you made a reservoir. You have a huge water body. Well, that huge water body, after all, water has pressure. It puts downward pressure on the ground and the water seeps into the ground. Now, when water seeps into the ground, it goes into cracks. There was a major fault line out there. Water kept going into the cracks. It didn't happen one day that you built a reservoir and tomorrow there's an earthquake. Over years. I mean, I didn't know, I didn't get the thing when the reservoir was made. Just 20 kilometers away from the epicenter. One day, that fault gave way. It resulted in 90,000, 1 lakh, nearly people died. See the area, how much area got affected. Huge area, not little. And why did they make this lake? It's very interesting. South of Sichuan, south of Sichuan, somewhere in this area, Yingbin, someplace, Yingbin or Yingpin or something like that, they were extracting minerals, some salts. What do you do to get the salts? You inject water. So inject water, make them into solution, and come out. Something like fracking. Even in fracking, you do all that. That's what you do. For fracking, you inject water, and that water mixes with the oil and gas which is there, makes an emulsion, it comes out. Of course, you use with the fracking, you use something, the soya beans, things like that. Gawar, gawar, जो राजस्थान में बनता है, that's a different story. So you put that water, it emulsifies the oil, and you get it out, and you de-emulsify the oil and to get oil. That's fracking actually. So something like that they were doing. They put water, make it to a mixture, get that salt out, dry it out, and get the mineral out. For that they needed water. So they built this reservoir, and what happened? Earthquake. Now 1 lakh people died. That's China for you. So my worry is not normal. So if you have these water bodies here, if you have these huge water bodies here, even these water bodies are dicey for earthquake. It's not only that this will produce earthquakes, even this can produce earthquakes because you don't know the faults underneath. So water will go seep in, and this earthquake will affect who all? We don't know. We are going into unknown. China के साथ यही problem है. They think they're smart, but at the end of the day, they're not that smart. They're idiotic. Okay, so that's the two major problems: mudslides, earthquakes. Then, of course, ecology, habitat. Water is not a problem. Third thing which is going to get affected is your monsoon system. Why? There is something called, you know, the jet streams, the Himalayan jet streams. One stream of the Himalayan jet stream goes along the crest line of the Himalayas, and the other goes on the northern edge of the Tibetan plateau. The northern edge of the Tibetan plateau is a dry stream. This is a wet stream. When you say wet stream, any water body under that, it will pick up the water. So if you're preparing making water bodies, and the Chinese are making water bodies all along Sangpo, and this jet stream starts around October and lasts till March every year. It's a 50-kilometer big tube which is flying at jet speeds. Okay, high speed wind. It'll pick up moisture, and if it picks up moisture, and there are winds coming, the southwest monsoon is hitting there. Just think, this is going to be water laden here, and down south the southwest monsoon comes. Now there will be a clash of these wet winds, and the return monsoon will suffer. And the return monsoon is your northeast monsoon, and the northeast monsoon is the driving monsoon for our entire east coast of India. Right from Orissa down to Tamil Nadu, we depend on the northeast monsoons. No, South India doesn't depend on southwest monsoon. When it's monsoon in Kerala and mainland India, there's no water here. Chitput rains happen. Rains in Tamil Nadu and southern Andhra Pradesh happen from October to January. That is going to get affected because the existing jet stream is dry. If that becomes wet and there's a dry southwest monsoon coming and hitting, because by then the water is not there, it dries itself. It's only wind. We don't know the outcomes. Dry over dry, there is some this thing, and it is a very important phenomenon. The thing is, if you see this map here, right? If you see this map here, it affects the Chinese monsoon. Have you studied it? I have not seen any place where China has studied this. I don't see any place where India has studied this. But in a few places, people have mentioned this. So China through this dam is putting us in a greater risk, and that is what I find missing from the discourse. I'm one guy who's really speaking of this, and no one speak. Even the, I mean, I don't blame the chief minister of Arunachal for not having invoked this aspect because he doesn't know about this. Or in some scientific journals, it's there, but very few. We only think they'll stop water. Yeah, well, like very jats, dimag, kar dimag. We don't analyze it scientifically. So these are the three major things: habitat, ecology. You are disturbing that complete ecology in the Brahmaputra Valley, right from wherever the last dam is to the thing. You're gonna you're gonna be at risk for earthquakes. You're gonna be at risk for your monsoons. The Upper Siang Dam, which you're going to put, might itself contribute to earthquakes and ecology and all that. It might temporarily give you relief from floods and things like that in that area. Because that's an area which is full of unknowns. So this is it. The government has to think out of the box. But I think if you start a people's movement in that area, the Chinese get the message fast. And that is why you have to take the Tibet movement across. Like why you have to club all these. Asymmetric warfare is not about just saying my rights and all that. You have to do something. And that's something, the answer to that lies in Tibet. The answer doesn't lie in India. The answer lies in Arunachal, people of Arunachal. You have to get the people of Arunachal on, which is there already. That's why they talk of Tibet. They don't talk of that being China. They talk of Tibet. They say China has come here into Tibet. That's what the prime chief minister says. Hindi is your language, your cultural thing which you have to put, right? And these are the things which we need to understand and start a movement. I don't see that happening, right? Anyway, this is what I thought I'll put across to you. This has come to me as a special request to do, and I'll get to that, and I'll address the gentleman, Mr. Sanjeev Nair, who's asked me to do this today. He's on a special request, and this has to be taken up politically through various parties. It has to be taken up in the parliament, and you need to have a plan. This is not a 4G thing. At some point, it will become 4G, but right now, there's a requirement of a wider understanding of this problem. Yeah, I can keep talking what I want, but I don't have more clout than what I can do. I do hope it. Uh, I do hope you people have liked this presentation. If you like this presentation, do press the like button. And I would request more of you to join Ghana Shot. First timers who are listening to me, join Ghana Shot. Okay. Thanks a lot, Akshay, for becoming a YouTube member. And thanks a lot, Harish. Been missing you for a long time. Thank you. And I'll echo what Yogesh regularly says. Please click the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and become member, and share this video with everyone. Those who want to understand what this whole thing is about. And Jai Hind, thanks a lot. And MK Sundaram, thank you. Lofi, thank you. Hans, good morning. Right. Yeah, webinar on how to link Indus River and Indian Ocean for irrigation, navigation, and drinking water with expertise. I'll do that one of these days. Right. That's not there on the government radar also. Sometime back, the river linking proposal was taken up, but somehow we never took it up further. Kritika P. Pranam, sir. Thank you. You're the first time you're coming. Thanks a lot for coming. Do subscribe to this channel and give it to all your friends. Proposed dam 3 has penstock facing India. Actual dam is mountains. Constructed dam is to control water faces China. What happens if yeah, you chaps only thinking, Brahmos hitting penstock and all. How does it matter? The penstock comes into. Okay, You see, the penstock ends other side, okay, of the border, and then water comes. So why you want to hit that penstock? Anyway, the water is going to come to you. So you just make things messy. That is not the way to do it. Yeah, good morning and fellow chatter. Yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, your name is Ane. Thanks a lot for coming. Yesterday evening podcast was great. Thanks a lot. Uh, Thanks a lot, Sylvia, for coming back again. Good morning, and have a great Saturday. I know it's Friday evening. Have a great weekend. Uh, yeah, nothing clarifies the complexity of an issue than maps and graphics. Thanks a lot. Why I keep doing it? This is the fourth or the fifth time I'm doing it. I'm doing it because not everyone sees it, and idea is to refresh, and a few new ideas will come. And of course, it triggered with what the CM of Arunachal did say. Thanks a lot. Right. Yeah. Vasu, thanks a lot. Good morning. How are you? Uh, uh, Fantastic presentation, app maps and slides. It took me a lot of time to make them. Yeah. Sir, Arunachal is developing the Upper Siang multi-purpose project as a defense. China's mega dam being built near Arunachal border will be a ticking time water bomb. Yeah, that's what the Chief Minister has said. I agree with you. But there are issues. Like I said, they can release the water. If they release water, okay, and empty that pondage which they have, then there'll be no water for their penstock pipes. And electricity, 60,000 megawatts. It's not simple. And that has to go somewhere, no? So that will be at their own cost. So to hit India, they will be at their own cost. And there are no military installations in this area where they have to flood. Okay. So there are issues. It's not as if they can just do what they want. I go with what the chief minister has said. Right? It's the habitat which is more important. Irrelevant question. What coursework would you suggest for young kids to take up bachelor's and masters will be beneficial for them and the country? Thanks a lot. That depends on what they like and what they have to be in future, what the parents want. For example, uh, my elder boy, he felt he wanted to be a computer engineer, so I helped him become a computer engineer. My daughter wanted to be a designer, so I helped her to become a designer. And every course and every line of study which you take is as good as the other, because everything makes the nation or a set of study or the thing. You have to be balanced. So it's a matter of aptitude, affordability, availability, and things like that. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Sanjeev, for having come here and said Nandri. What I'd request is Mr. Sanjeev Nair. He's the one who's asked me to do this, and I'd like to thank him for giving me this opportunity to talk. And on his behalf, a man who's quite passionate about it. We need more people who are passionate about such things which matter to India. And he's been a good, he's been supporting me in all my endeavors. Earlier, I used to write regularly. And so, all his friends who are watching, please send this to all in your network. I don't know whether you'll get someone else doing this kind of a analysis, and I'd be grateful if you could send me any analysis which is better than this. I learn. Okay, that's the way I look at it. Okay, Sai Autovision, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thanks a lot. China will keep giving headache to India. India must start building infrastructure to counter that. Yeah, I agree with you. Mary Kane, seabed uplift. It's not so easy. Seabed is quite far away from there. Defense Minister Rajnath urged for a permanent solution to the border dispute. China counterpart Admiral Dong Jun stated the border dispute India will take time to settle. So if it will take time to settle, we're going to have a problem for a long, long, long time with India, for with China. There's no doubt about it. There are multiple ads in between live sessions. Please do something about it. If you can't, look, let me put it this way: if I don't opt for ads, I don't get paid, and I can't sustain myself. My sustenance is not for my profit. I have to run this thing. I have to get pay subscriptions and all that. So if I turn off ads, I do. There's very little I can do. In any case, this is not a channel where I'm making money. What money I get is just enough to sort things out. And of course, based on what you people give, those 3 4 girls whom I have to educate. So I really can't do much about it. Okay, this is I have to go by what YouTube has to think of. Okay, India should put in a condition that water treaties with China and Pakistan should be signed together. There's no treaty. You are walking out of a treaty, so there's no question of this. Can we say for sure that China is designing this dam because maximum harm to India? No, it's not that. They need water. They need electricity. More, my way of looking at it is at the top they might put pipes to take water down into Yunnan. Okay, or they take electricity into Yunnan. Both they want. Why should you put a 60,000 megawatt project out here? Just think. Where will you use 60,000 megawatts in the desolate area? You have to take it out to Yunnan. That's their plan. Along the highway. Okay? There's a highway next to it. They're going to keep this dam as close to the highway as possible so they can construct electric supply lines. I mean, it's very obvious. You have to understand what's happening there. They don't have energy. China needs energy. So they're not going to be, if they flood the area, let's say they release water into India and that water bomb goes, what will they get? For the next 15, 20 days, they won't have electricity. What will be the economic effect? I mean, I'm just giving you back of envelope calculations. I believe humans, especially in this case, the Chinese often forget that nature has limits, push too far and it hits back. I agree. I agree with you. Nuclear power plant built 20 miles upstream from here and river never flows the same. John, these are ideas you can give sitting wherever you are, but you come here and you'll know and understand what I'm talking. You can't build a nuclear power plant there. Looks like Pakistani generals think they're masters in the battlefield. Unless push comes to shove, the same applies for Chinese planners. Chinese are even worse. They've destroyed themselves. Okay, to counter that, we should build a dam in the. यार अमिताभ यही बोल रहा हो यार, यही तो वो चीफ मिनिस्टर ने बोला, मैंने दिखाया सब कुछ और ये बोल रहा है पुट अ डैम इन आवर साइड. यही तो बोल रहा हूँ, कितने ऑप्शंस हैं. Yeah, why we Indians fall prey to misinformation so easily? In your last point, you explained this, but I see Indians are still falling for it. I have already shared your with a video with a lot of people. I would request share it to more people because people have to understand this. We have to understand where we are, which is the bigger danger. The water is not the danger. The loss of ecology, habitat, uh, the earthquakes, mudslides. These are my problems, not water. Water won't. They will. In fact, you heard the chief minister himself saying it's a blessing in disguise if the dam comes and we have a equation with Chinese. Yeah, miss today's session. We'll catch up later. Yeah, please do that. Okay. Yeah, true. The CM has mentioned as Tibet, not China. You have made important observation and made a point now. Top class saw yesterday evening and technologies for multi-domain appeals. Thank you. We'll do more. You know, we'll do more. I I already in with Rajiv and Harimohan. We're going to do more on technology. You can't keep talking only of China and Pakistan. It's boring. It's a boring thing even for me. Yeah, iDental Racine, thanks a lot. I hope PM Modi was listening. I also hope so. I don't know whether he's. Yeah. Do we see this Arunachal Pradesh CM meet as a strategic one from India to keep lighting the Tibet issue base? Yeah, completely. Yes, I agree with you completely. We are playing aggressive, and I will also give you what China is analyzing and what options they are looking at. Just wait. I found a very interesting article to give the idea as to how Chinese are thinking. I'll do it next week. Yeah, thanks for getting into the nitty gritty of a hairy problem. Educational. Arunachal is absolute. CM is absolute ad for making the Tibet statement. Oh, he's a very good man actually. I've not met him, but when I've heard of people who have interacted with him, very good chap. If China starts dam construction, how soon can India build its downstream dam? Look, we can start a couple of years later and get the idea of what China is doing. It's not going to be easy for them to drill through holes through three tunnels from underneath the 8,000 meter, you know, mountain called Namcha Barua. It's a huge, massive. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be a very complicated dam for them. Ours is not going to be that complicated. You're just going to dam the river, and there are few technicalities involved, and that too, it's in plains. You have to dam in plains. They'll be doing it in altitude, and in altitude, you work time is only 50%, and that's a complicated thing. So you have 3-4 years after that, and this dam is not going to finish in a hurry. It'll take another 10-15 years. The start itself it might take another 3-4 years. So you have time. You react accordingly. Keep that under observation. You have satellites. Keep seeing what they're doing. See the design of the dam, what they're getting. See what work they're doing. Infer from that, and then make your design. Yeah. AI overview: largest hydropower project, Yarling Sangpo River, Tibet, nuclear activities, uranium mining, nuclear research, design, dumping radioactive waste, accounts for. Yeah, I agree with you. This guy Praveen Sani always talks about Chinese. Yeah, easy TCP. I think so. Agni aside, Agni. Why bunker buster warhead? Three Gorges Dam, minimum 400. Yeah, we don't have to think of all that. That's too far. Plus, we'll never go there. If China really declines, wouldn't this be a cherry on the top for us? We can utilize this. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, truly an eye opener. Yeah, then you have a look at it. Right. Yeah, please like this video, share it with. Thanks a lot, Shiv Prakasham, for your message which you regularly give, you and Yogesh, and also subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Sanjeev Nair, thanks for your. No, Sanjeev, you actually motivated me. I was not prepared to do it. I was not interested also. So I must thank you for giving me this. And I would only say, spread the good word. It will be disastrous for China. Please see the Three Gorges Dam going to. Yeah, I agree with you. The Chinese do things in a hurry and regret at leisure. It's happening. People don't believe me. I've seen ambassadors, generals, and all saying, "Oh, they are $19 trillion economy." They're not 19 trillion. They are bloody somewhere in the negative. Anyway, yeah, nothing better than to listen to General Shankar after dinner. Such a treat. So much to learn. Thanks a lot. I'm glad that it's there. Thanks a lot, Sylvia, for your contribution. A great opportunity for CMs of other states that are likely to be affected to go to Arunachal Pradesh, show support for their. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, thanks to Sanjeev Nair. We must thank people who are good. There are a lot of good people in India. There are a lot of good people all over the world also. I have no doubt about it. I met equally good people wherever I've gone. Yeah, can you discuss 62 war against China, how it happened and why they were able to come so deep in China, in India? Yeah, one of these days I'll do it. Sir, feel privileged to be learning from yourself and other senior veterans, analysis and insights par excellence. Yeah, I'm not going to put anything on. I'm not. Recently, I saw one, coming out. I think, I don't know, that chap Adi and Ajay Raina and all wearing uniforms as if they're generals and whatever, and putting on things as if they got 1.5 million views or whatever. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to become a Nautanki master here. I've worn my uniform with pride for 40 years. For the balance of my life, I'm going to wear a civilian dress with pride. We should be proud of what we are. Okay. When I was wearing a uniform, no one could touch me. Now, when I'm wearing a normal T-shirt, cotton T-shirt, no one can touch me. We work for our country, and it goes for everyone. Whichever country they are, they should take pride in what they do, not put up false fronts and talk nonsense. Yeah, you echoed my thoughts. We react on what they do, else we sit pretty. Yeah, this is the time to just actually sit pretty and watch. Will mandatory serving in army after school or college bring more unity internally? So when people become civilian, we only need to think about strategy. Everything will look. The way I look at it, good scouts have scouts, NCC. Those also imbibe a lot of things in the people. It's not necessary that everyone has to come to the army. And if every student joins the army, what will the army do? You know, no. But you need to have paramilitary organizations to handle this. Uh, the scouts are very good. The NCC, I think, the system is very good. Both these need to be handled better. Please do analysis wide. I'm not understood. Yeah, US is strategically planning for China like they did for Soviet Union, but the Soviets were worthy opponents and they were not afraid to fight. China is just bullies and will run away from a fight. You hit it on the head. Make sense to discuss China's strength as well as what their construction companies, especially. Yes, I will. Yeah, I appreciate how you present the topic and carry on yourself. Yes. Please do videos on technologies and courses where we need more manpower in future. I think we need to prepare the younger generation accordingly instead of just computer operation. We'll do it. I'll do it. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. That's my next focus. Right. This is an interesting thing. How will Bangla cope with China's dam mischief? Did they plan? Do they plan just to blame India for what China does, or will Bangla be able to make common cause? They'll not, and they're idiots. The Bangladeshis are idiots. This is the last thing I'm going to take. The Bangladeshis and Chinese have a agreement on water. Can you imagine? On this thing only. As per them, as per that agreement, China is to give advance notice of water flow, rise and fall of water flow in Yarlung Sangpo to Bangladesh. Okay? We don't have an agreement with Bangladesh. So far, after China and Bangladesh have signed, this was about 10 odd years back. China has not intimated Bangladesh even once. Not even once. We don't have an agreement, and we have given them advance notice every time. And we give them advance notice right from this Siang part, Pasigat part, and every part. We tell them exactly where Brahmaputra water is going up. And Bangladeshis are still want to go and fall at the Chinese feet and fight with us. They're the complete idiots. That's Bangladesh. So the best thing to do with Bangladesh is leave them to their whatever they want to do. They're not normal people, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Prasad, thanks a lot. And Sundar also thanks a lot. I think, yeah, Prashant also thanks a lot for attending. On a lighter note, my masala dosa turned brown to red, crimson red, and ate with red chutney. Oh, thanks. Have a great day. Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot. We'll meet in the evening. I'm getting General Pradeep Nair, who was the DG Assam Rifles. We should, we're going to discuss the Northeast in the evening, right? And he was my staff officer when I was at GOC. I'm glad he became the DG Assam Rifles. So he's very knowledgeable on the Northeast. So evening we'll talk of Northeast. Okay. Till then, have a great day. 8 o'clock in the evening we meet again. Bye. Enjoy yourself.